Uhuru. I'm Valerie Bronte of Uhuru Solidarity Movement, and this is the Saturday, February 23rd Solidarity Spear Study Live. At Uhuru Solidarity Movement, we're the organization of white people working under the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party for reparations to African people, to the African Revolution. And please, when you come into the study today, please share it to your timeline. Invite friends, family, comrades you think need to see it. And hashtag shared, put that in the comments when you share it so that we know how many folks we have coming in. Say hello, say Uhuru, let me know how your week has been. Let me know what you've been up to. I have been working, and traveling and moving and packing and getting ready for the All Diamonds or Blood Diamonds tour event tomorrow night in New York City. So again, I'm Valerie Bronte of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. When you come in, Uhuru Evan Garner of Asheville, North Carolina. Uhuru comrade, welcome to this study today. Uhuru Jackson Hollingsworth, tuning in from St. Pete, Florida, I believe. Uhuru comrade, thank you for tuning in. Thanks for sharing to your timeline. Uhuru comrade Virginia Wilson, tuning in from Louisville. Thanks, comrade. Thanks for coming today. Share this to your timeline and share this to groups that focus on anti-imperialism, anti-colonialism, socialism, the end of imperialism around the world, the struggle of colonized people to be free. Thank you, comrades. All right, great. I am going to get started. It is 6:04 already. So like I said before, I'm Valerie Bronte of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, and the Uhuru Solidarity Movement is an organization of white people organizing for white reparations to African people under the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party. So as always, I want to salute my leadership, the founder of the Uhuru Movement and chairman of the African People's Socialist Party USA and chairman of African Socialist International for creating African internationalism, the materialist political worldview and science that describes the conditions of colonialism from the perspective of the African working class. And that is Chairman Omali Yeshitela. Chairman Omali Yeshitela teaches us how Black power, both economic and political, which essentially is one, power is both economic and political. This is what it will take to destroy colonialism. So as members of Uhuru Solidarity Movement, we have three principles of unity. We work under the leadership and are accountable to the African People's Socialist Party. Number two, we believe African people have the right to lead their own struggle. This is not a white-led organization. This is led by the African People's Socialist Party, the advanced detachment of the African working class and revolutionary vanguard of the African liberation movement worldwide. And number three, we organize in the white community for reparations to white people and material solidarity with Black power. So the African People's Socialist Party is led by Chairman Omali Yeshitela, and it was founded in 1972. It was formed by the merging of three organizations, JOMO, the Junta of Militant Organizations, the Black Rights Fighters from Fort Myers, Florida, and the Black Study Group of Gainesville, Florida. The African People's Socialist Party leads the struggle of the African working class and oppressed masses of the world against parasitic capitalism, colonialism, and Western imperialism for total African liberation. The party recognizes that Black people are not a race or a color. They are a nation of people whose birthright is Africa. They're African people, wherever colonialism has displaced them. Additionally, the African People's Socialist Party recognizes that African people within US borders are domestically, internally colonized, and they've had their labor and resources stolen by white power. And thirdly, the African People's Socialist Party leads 30 institutions of economic development and Black power, including Black Power Blueprint campaign of the African People's Education and Defense Fund. So the most unique feature of the Uhuru Movement is that under the leadership of Chairman Omali Yeshitela, the Uhuru Movement has made the revolutionary demand for white reparations to African people a household word since 1982. When the party hosted the first tribunal on reparations in New York City. In 1976, the party answered the question what to do with white people in the African liberation movement by forming the African People's Solidarity Committee, which has been led by Chairwoman Penny Hess, who has dedicated 44 years of her life to reparations. So it's 43 years of her life to reparations. So the word reparations means payment or repair for damage done. And the demand is growing around the world for reparations for colonialism, parasitic capitalism, and imperialism. And so white people, we owe reparations not just for the labor value of chattel slavery, but for the enslavement, because the enslavement of African people is the cornerstone upon which all the wealth and power of the US and Europe is built. And so we recognize, as part of our Uhuru Solidarity Movement, that as part of the oppressor nation, all of our hopes, dreams, aspirations, and life and all our work exists on this pedestal of colonialism, which is like a boot on the neck of the colonized people of the rest of the world. So I want to salute Chairwoman Penny Hess, leadership of the Solidarity Movement since 1976, and author of Overturning the Culture of Violence. And so we studied the Burning Spear newspaper every week as part of the Solidarity Movement because as white people, we can't come to these conclusions on our own. I mean, I think it's pretty clear from the last 600 years since the first European assault on Africa by the Portuguese that not only won't we overturn the conditions of colonialism, we can't. We just simply can't as the oppressor nation. And our opportunism and our, self-interest always supersedes our solidarity, and time again, and when we see that white so-called allies and white so-called solidarity in positions of leadership always sells out the African revolution. So we understand that we have to be under the correct leadership, and that is the leadership of the organized African working class, the advanced detachment of the African working class, the African People's Socialist Party. So we study their news organ, the voice of the International African Revolution, the Burning Spear newspaper. It's a print and online newspaper. It's been in uninterrupted publication since 1968 when it was first published by JOMO, the Junta of Militant Organizations, and has continued to be printed since 1972 by the African People's Socialist Party. So the Burning Spear newspaper, I want to salute the director of the African People's Socialist Party's Department of Agitation and Propagation, Akile Anai, who leads the work of the Burning Spear along with the managing editor of the Burning Spear, Olafina Kemba, and the editorial staff of the Burning Spear who bring this to the people monthly. This is just unlike any other news source, any other perspective that's going to be available to you on Facebook, on YouTube, through bourgeois media, through the media of alternative media of the white left. You will not see this perspective. You will not have this perspective. You will not be able to study this perspective. You will not understand this perspective that is of African internationalism unless you are doing a political study of African internationalism like we do all the time to deepen our understanding of the colonial contradiction. So why do we say Uhuru? You'll hear us say Uhuru a lot. It's the Swahili word for freedom, and it keeps freedom on the mind 24/7, and we're called upon the party to use it as often as possible. So this Saturday's article is from the Office of the Deputy Chair. Let's see if anyone else has joined us today. But it is By Black Power, our regional strategy for self-initiated economic development. Every month in the Burning Spear, the Office of the Deputy Chair has an article. So I want to salute the Deputy Chair of the African People's Socialist Party, Onizineye Shatella. And the Office of the Deputy Chair leads the economic work, leads the on-the-ground operations of the Uhuru Movement, day to day, day in and day out without a break. So there's our lovely Deputy Chair right there. And these beautiful photos are the Enzo custom design African style pillows sold at Uhuru Furniture and Collectibles. That's in Philadelphia. And then there's some beautiful painted tables. If you have not been to Uhuru Furniture and Collectibles in Philadelphia, you have to go. It is absolutely fantastic. And just the creativity with the Enzo line that is produced out of Uhuru Furniture and Collectibles in Philly is just gorgeous. Decolonnades, that's another image right there. You can see those are the body and hair butters and facial scrubs and facial mists that are an economic development project of the African National Women's Organization. And then at the bottom are earrings from Zenzele Consignment, which is in Huntsville, Alabama. And that's another commercial economic institution of the Office of the Deputy Chair. Buy from everyone, sell to everyone. Buy from each other, sell to everyone. Sorry, got that right now. It's the powerful tagline for the Buy Black Power campaign of the African People's Socialist Party's regional strategy for putting dual power into practice. As Chairman Omali Yeshitela states in the political report to the 7th Congress, Buy Black Power does not only serve to promote our movement products, but it will encourage other merchants within our colony to promote and develop an anti-colonial commercial approach as well, end quote. Launched under the leadership of the Office of the Deputy Chair, ODC, which is led by Deputy Chair Onezene Yeshitela, the Buy Black Power campaign will give several of the 25 economic development institutions of the ODC additional promotional, sales, and distribution outlets for their products. The products for this dynamic initiative are located in the northern and western regions. The Enzo African Styles at Home and Abroad collection features hand-painted furniture with African designs, greeting cards, accent pillows crafted using African fabric, and laminated photos of African leaders and martyrs of the struggle for liberation. Also offered in the northern region are self-care products from Decolonnades, a revolution for your hair and body, an economic development project of the African National Women's Organization, ANWO. The best part is that all of these products are available now at Uhuru Furniture and Collectibles in Philadelphia. From the headquarters of the All African People's Development Empowerment Project, APDEP, Zenzele Consignment in the southern region is the home to beautiful African head wraps, African jewelry, and waist beads. To bring conscious beauty products to African people around the world, the Vanguard 7 Uhuru lipstick collection, developed by Black Star Industries, will soon be accessible to everyone through the Buy Black Power campaign as well. Those looking to support the struggle for bread, peace, and Black power in the 21st century can do so with the purchase of beaded bracelets with and without a charm from Uzi Custom Clothing line of the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement in Pedum, headquartered in the Midwestern region. Also be sure to look out for t-shirts, patches, and more from Planet Uhuru Revolutionary Apparel, currently being developed by the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, USM. With a projected completion date of April 2019 and just in time for the opening of the One Africa, One Nation marketplace season, we are excited to make these products available in every region and institution. And to add to the hype, outside merchants who unite with the movement are invited to participate in this dynamic initiative. So in the words of Chairman Omali, we want to create independent economic activity that is not simply inspired by an aspiration of individual wealth, but that recognizes itself as a part of the struggle for self-determination. Uhuru. This is just another concrete example of it's just proof of the strategy of the Uhuru movement for building dual and contending power, economic power, a liberated economic activity for the African working class by the African working class. That is part of this strategy that is just on the ground right now. It's not waiting for any particular legislation developed, but something has to be done right now. Something has to be done right now. And that is why we see the African People's Socialist Party as the advanced detachment. the vanguard, that is leading the struggle for African liberation, that is leading the struggle to advance the revolutionary demand for white reparations to African people within the belly of the beast, that by white people going into the oppressor nation, into our own communities, and saying, I unite with reparations to African people. This is why. This is how we can get involved. This is how we can divest of our parasitic relationship to the rest of the world and end our complicity with a genocide that's been taking place for the last 600 years. And so it's just so important to see how this manifests in real economic institutions, real economic development for the Black community right now, every day. And so this is something you can be a part of. You can go to Planet Uhuru right now and look at the beautiful t-shirts, amazing designs that our comrades have contributed, awesome stickers, there's journals, there's calendars, there's all sorts of creative things that the brilliant strategy of the African working class has made possible for us to be a part of. And so this is part of this liberated future where no one person can live at the expense of the other. And we are building this culture of art and of an independent, liberated economy with gorgeous hand-painted furniture, amazing cosmetics that are wonderful for your hair and your body. I love the Decolonise line. I have all of the Vanguard 7 lipsticks. I have not bought any of the earrings from Zenzele Consignment, but I haven't been in Huntsville. But I've been in Uhuru Furniture and Collectibles in Philly, and that is at 832 North Broad Street in Philadelphia. You got to check that out. But this is part of a liberated vision of the world that's happening right now. It's happening right now, and you can be a part of it. And as white people, we see all around us that, just proof of what the chairman teaches is that imperialism and capitalism, we're seeing it in crisis right now. We're seeing that white power is flagging, white power is dying, white power is being crushed by the righteous resistance of colonized people all over the world, demanding control of their land and resources, demanding the return of control of their land and resources, demanding their sovereignty. And we're seeing this all over the world, in Africa, in South America. Imperialism is grasping. It's grasping however it possibly can to maintain its status as the world, as the oppressor of the world. And it's not going to happen. It's losing its grip, and all colonized people will be free. They will all lead themselves, their own liberation struggles, to their own victory. And as white people, certainly reparations just make sense because we can't live in this world that colonialism has created. We cannot live anymore in this world. It is absolutely toxic to every living thing on the planet. And that is something that even the UN recognizes, that parasitic capitalism, the global economy, the way that the world works now, the economic system that the world is being crushed by, is asphyxiating the planet of its health. And within the next, generation, life on this planet will not be as we know it. Life expectancies will not be as we know it. The planet will be in a full-blown ecosystem crisis, and that will be due to capitalism. And so as we understand that the root of capitalism is the exploitation, the root of capitalism comes from the exploitation of the stolen lives, stolen labor, stolen resources, all for the gain of European and US interests. And because of that, we can take a stance of reparations to the African liberation, be a part of building these economic institutions, creating a dual and contending economy, a dual contending Black power economy. And that is the baseline in which there needs to be an economic baseline for liberation movement, just as there's an economic baseline for the oppression of people. This will be the economic baseline for a liberated future. And so you can be a part of that, and you can learn more about what that means, about what material solidarity with Black power means as a white person, by learning more about Uhuru's solidarity movement and by joining Uhuru's solidarity movement. and by attending our 2019 National Convention in St. Louis, Missouri, April 13th and 14th. So I'm really excited about the convention. We just posted the call to the convention on the website, and I'm just going to take a minute and look at any comments we might have received. And I want to read the call to the convention, because it's really exciting. Because right now, with the 2020 election spectacle ramping up, now more than ever, it's really important to not get distracted by the nonviolent struggle for control over stolen resources by the white ruling class, AKA the 2020 presidential election, and to really focus on being a part of creating a better world right now. It's happening right now, and you can be a part of it. So beyond Republicans and Democrats, build white solidarity with Black power, a call to attend the USM National Convention, April 13th and 14th, 2019 in St. Louis, Missouri. White people, this is a call to stand in principled solidarity with the Black liberation movement for a world with no oppression, no borders, and no war. Come to Uhuru Solidarity Movement's National Convention, April 13th and 14th, 2019 in St. Louis, Missouri. As it becomes clear by the day that Democrats and Republicans are the same on every issue that matters to the lives of Africans, Arabs, Mexican, indigenous, and colonized peoples, this convention is our way to reject the two-faced imperialist system altogether and embrace the path toward a better world. At a time when imperialist-instigated abrupt climate change is threatening to extinguish all living beings without a solution in sight from the white scientists who caused the problem in the first place, this convention is our way to fight back for the future of the planet Earth. As millions of young white people are rejecting capitalism and looking for an alternative system that puts the interests of human beings before the profit of the white ruling class, this convention is our way to become real socialists under the leadership of the anti-colonial Black workers-led revolution. When injustice faced by African people is deeper than ever, and the, quote, racial wealth gap, end quote, is wider than ever before, with the wealth of the median African household at $1,700 compared to $116,800 for the median white household, this convention is our way as white people to unite with African people in their struggle to reclaim the value of their stolen resources, labor, and lives that have benefited our economy at their expense for 600 years. As genocide rages at the Mexican border, where the indigenous people are fighting to cross a colonial barrier separating them from their own land, this convention is our way to stand with the Mexican indigenous liberation movement and an end to all colonial borders. As the US government foments chaos and a coup in Venezuela to overthrow the progressive Bolivarian government of Nicolas Maduro, this convention is our opportunity to take a true stance of revolutionary international solidarity with all oppressed peoples on the planet Earth fighting for self-determination. And in this era of Trump, where Make America Great Again has become the badge of white nationalist pride, it is our time to distinguish ourselves from our white ruling class and the block of white nationalist unity by declaring with pride our commitment to make America pay reparations and to build white solidarity with Black power. And that is why we are calling on you to come to the Uhuru Solidarity Movement National Convention. So what is the Uhuru Solidarity Movement? The Uhuru Solidarity Movement is the mass front of the African People's Solidarity Committee, the constituent organization of the African People's Socialist Party, which extends the struggle for Black liberation into the white community through building a mass movement for white reparations to African people. And we are called upon to face the struggling peoples of the world with a principled and honest stand, one that recognizes our historically criminal behavior as the oppressor of humanity and makes a commitment to right the wrongs of the past and the present, not just words, but in action. This action must go beyond protest or getting out the vote. It must go deeper than changing the racist ideas in our white brains. It must go beyond our personal relationships or our willingness to appear at demonstrations with Black Lives Matter signs. As the African People's Solidarity Committee chairwoman Penny Hess wrote in Overturning the Culture of Violence, the stance of genuine solidarity, quote, goes right to the dialectical relationship between human bondage and wealth, genocide and land ownership, suffering and well-being, justice and atonement. It takes us to the deepest recesses of our souls to find out if we are prepared to carry out and practice what we express in words. It brings us to the question of reparations, end quote. We have a role to play under the leadership of the African working class. Our job is to go back into our own white communities and win our friends, families, coworkers, neighbors, and everyone else to come forward on the forward side of history. Join the human family. Be a part of the struggle for a socialist future where nobody is oppressed, where every person will have healthcare, education, a place to live, and access to quality food and water. But it won't happen without a fight. This is our call to arms. If you're one of the millions of white people out there who hates to live at the expense of other people, this convention is for you. If you want your life to be connected to the struggling masses of African, indigenous, Arab, Venezuelan, Cuban, Palestinian, Iranian, Korean, and oppressed peoples of the world who are fighting for their resources back, struggling for the ability of the next generation of children to grow up without fear of bombs, rape, and murder. You are one of the millions of white people who find it intolerable that under the system of parasitic capitalism, our, quote, every dream and aspiration, end quote, as Chairman Omali Yeshitela has said, quote, requires drone strikes on Pakistan. The Uhuru Solidarity Movement is your organization. The USM National Convention is for you. Chairman Omali Yeshitela, the founder of the Uhuru Movement, along with Penny Hess, the chair of the African People's Solidarity Committee, who has organized with white solidarity with Black Power for over 40 years, will be the main speakers. Participate in exciting workshops and presentations on how to build the Uhuru Solidarity Movement in your area, a tour of St. Louis-based Black Power institutions and programs, and presentations exposing the genocidal conditions of mass imprisonment faced by African people. This event will take place in the brand new Uhuru House, a project of the Black Power Blueprint. Through your generous support, opened its doors last April 2018. Register today at usm2019convention.eventbrite.com. So I just booked my flight, and I also booked my Airbnb. And I'm getting ready to go to the convention, and I'm really excited. I'm going to be helping out with the food committee again this year, and we're going to have absolutely delicious vegan things and wonderful things to eat. I can't wait. I hope you're going to the convention. I hope that you're considering joining Uhuru Solidarity Movement. I hope that you are going to take a stand of reparations today, right now, and join this work and be a part of it. So all of the resources that we raise with the Solidarity Spear Study Live, through Uhuru Solidarity Movement, through the African People's Solidarity Committee, all of it goes towards the program called the Black Power Blueprint, which is building real life, real time economic development and self-determination for the Black community in St. Louis, Missouri. So like we said, through the Black Power Blueprint, the Uhuru House, an event and meeting place, and the offices of the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement opened last spring in April 2018 after just, a wonderfully executed several months of renovations where the whole community mobilized to help make this a reality and transformed this dilapidated building into a gorgeous meeting space, liberated territory in the African community. Across the street, 2 dilapidated buildings were knocked down to make way for an outdoor event venue, which will be the home of the One Africa, One Nation Marketplace come springtime. That's also going to be the home of the Gary Brooks Community Gardens. There were fruit trees planted in the fall when I got to be there for the 7th Congress of the African People's Socialist Party, which was so incredible. There is a the 50-foot flagpole flying a 25-foot red, black, and green African nation flag high over the rooftops of the houses in North St. Louis. This is truly carving out a liberated territory and not just in looks, but also in reality. It is going to be carving out a liberated territory economically for the deprived North St. Louis African working class community. So just miles from Ferguson, where a young Michael Brown was shot by police officer Darren Wilson and left to die in the sun. And just miles from there, the African People's Socialist Party is building on the ground, and the African People's Education and Defense Fund program, the Black Power Blueprint, is creating economic opportunities there in North St. Louis. So in 2019, two very important developments are going to happen. First, the One Africa, One Nation marketplace, that flea market that has been a huge part of economic activity for the African working class community of West Philly in Philadelphia for the last 10 years or so. That is going to be coming to St. Louis. That will be a liberated economic opportunity for entrepreneurs and vendors from the African working class community to come together and to have a space to vend and sell and share food and share ideas and meet and have, events and have, live music, wonderful things like that. So that's going to be happening right across from the Uhuru House on Florissant Avenue. That's going to be really exciting. More developments. 2019, the Uhuru Jiko Community Commercial Kitchen is going to be opening at on Goodfellow Boulevard. And so that's being renovated right now. And that is going to house the African Independence Workforce Training Program, where African folks who are coming out of the colonial prison system will be able to learn job and entrepreneurship skills and participate in the Uhuru Jiko Community Commercial Kitchen. It's going to be a market, a cafe, and a bakery, and the new flagship of Uhuru Foods and Pies. So this is part of the strategy for building economic power that you can be a part of. It's concrete, it's real, it's happening right now. And you can take a stance of reparations to the Black Power Blueprint and return resources that we know as white people are stolen from Africa and have been hoarded in the white community. I would like to raise $75 to appreciate the economic work of the Uhuru Movement under the leadership of the Office of the Deputy Chair Ona Zanea of the African People's Socialist Party. If you have $75 right now, some of you might have $75 right now, please pledge $75 so we can make our goal today. Or consider becoming a member of Uhuru Solidarity Movement. Join Uhuru Solidarity Movement as a sustaining member. Pay $5 this month, and over the course of 12 months, that's a commitment of $60 of reparations to return to this study of the Solidarity Spear Study Live. So while we talk about all the incredible events we have coming up right now this weekend and going forward into the spring, I want to call on everyone to join Uhuru Solidarity Movement. Go to uhurusolidarity.org/join-USM/ I am an Ella Baker, sustaining member of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. I joined last year as part of the Ella Baker Sustainer Drive. The Ella Baker level is $100 a month, or about $3.33 a day. And that, after being, just really immersing myself in the work and being a part of volunteering for so many of these projects and learning so much more about this organization, I knew that I had to deepen my stance. And that's why I became an Ella Baker sustaining member. So come to the convention, become a member, make a pledge of solidarity with Black power and with a liberated economy for the African working class community. Put your pledge in the comments and I will let you know about all the incredible events we have coming up. So tonight at 7:30 in St. Pete is the Lumumba Film Night, St. Pete Community Acupuncture, 1624 Central Avenue. So Uhuru Solidarity Movement in St. Pete is going to be celebrating Black History Month tonight, showing the 2001 film Lumumba, directed by Raoul Peck. It's free. You need to RSVP at Lumumba, USM, St. Pete.eventbrite.com. Tomorrow in New York City and ongoing through March 27th, stopping in Philly, St. Pete, Gainesville, St. Louis, Louisville, Oakland, Portland, and Seattle is the All Diamonds or Blood Diamonds National Tour. And let's see, I'll read off all of the dates. But yeah, at this tour, it is a call for white people to bring their diamonds to be turned over to Black Star Industries, which is the economic front of the African People's Socialist Party, and they will be returned as reparations, as a stance of reparations. So yes, today in Boston, it's happening right now. Tomorrow, it's going to be at the Solidarity Center at TBG, 616 East 9th Street, 7 p.m. There will be a ribbon cutting ceremony for the Solidarity Center at 6 p.m. So if you want to get there early to check that out, that's going to be really awesome. USM Philly is going to be hosting the tour on Monday at 7 p.m. at William Way Center, the Philadelphia Room on 1315 Spruce Street. Friday, March 15th, USM St. Pete will be hosting the tour at Aquaba Hall at 7 p.m. USM Gainesville will be hosting the tour March 17th at Civic Media Center at 433 South Main Street in Gainesville, Florida. USM Portland will be having a viewing party at the Kenton Public Library March 22nd, 3 to 5:30 p.m. USM Seattle will be hosting the tour at 8201 10th Avenue South in Seattle, March 23rd. And USM Oakland will be hosting the tour at 1 p.m. on Sunday, March 24th at Aquaba Hall, the historic Aquaba Hall, 7911 MacArthur Boulevard in Oakland. USM St. Louis will be hosting the tour March 25th at the Center for Divine Love and the Empowerment Center at 3617 Wyoming Street. And USM Louisville will be hosting the tour at the First Unitarian Church Library Room, March 27th, 6 to 8 p.m. in Louisville, Kentucky. So that's really exciting. This tour is going to be incredible. The president of the African National Women's Organization, Yejide Oranmila, and the chairwoman of the African People's Solidarity Committee, Penny Hess, will be speaking in New York City tomorrow. I cannot wait. So February 26th, that's this Tuesday, is our Uhuru Solidarity Movement webinar. The webinar is an event, it's a fundraiser for the Black Power Blueprint. It's entitled The Assassination of Malcolm X, and it features the director of agitation and propagation for the director of agitation and propaganda for the African People's Socialist Party, Akile Anai. She'll be speaking, as well as Penny Hess, and they'll be speaking on the life and death of Malcolm X. So on February 21st, 1965, Malcolm X was assassinated by the U.S. government as part of a counterinsurgency war to crush the Black Revolution of the 1960s. So be sure to check that out on Tuesday. That's 7 p.m. and that will be live streamed on Facebook and on YouTube. So April 13th and 14th, mark your calendars and make your plans now to come to the Uhuru Solidarity Movement National Convention in St. Louis, Missouri. I just really want to salute that powerful call to arms. And this is a call to arms as well. Each one of your dollars that you return to this study today is a bullet in imperialism's chest. And that's how we have to see the reparations struggle, is that how we got into this mess will be exactly how we get out of it. How we got into it was by stealing from the whole entire planet, and how we get out of it is by the principled stance of returning the stolen, hoarded resources to the African Revolution as a stance of material solidarity with the liberation of colonized people. Every Saturday, be sure to come back and join us for Solidarity Spear Study Live. We do this 6 p.m. Eastern. We are live streaming on Facebook right now, but we hope to be live streaming on YouTube very shortly. Sundays, political education from Chairman Omali Yeshitela. It doesn't really get any better than that. It's the Omali Taught Me Political Study, and that is live streamed on Facebook and on YouTube. So check that out. And if you want to join Uhuru Solidarity Movement, we have meetings all the time, upcoming meetings for our Reparations Challenge, and anyone can take the Reparations Challenge. And that is creating a fundraiser to return resources from the white community to the African Revolution. So you can learn more about taking the Reparations Challenge. Anyone can take a Reparations Challenge, member or non-member. Sundays, 2 p.m., there is an open mass meeting, and there's more information on that with the link that our moderator, Johan Bedingfield, is providing. I want to salute Johan for helping me so much with moderating these spear studies. It really does, since we have so much going on, it's essential to have somebody help me put all the links and all the info into the comments so that everybody gets all the information. Sundays, 7 p.m. Oh, I forgot. We have a special event tomorrow. It's going to be at 5 p.m. To 6 p.m. I think it's Eastern Standard Time. Hold on just a second. I just have to look it up real quick. It is 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Drag Imperialism to Its Grave is a Reparations Challenge interview with Joey and Ella Cadre of St. Louis, drag performers taking the Reparations Challenge and returning resources to the African Revolution. Check out that live stream with the House of Cadre tomorrow night on Facebook. And yeah, so you can learn more about the Reparations Challenge, though, tomorrow at 2 p.m. on their mass meeting. Sundays at 7 p.m., there is the open meeting for Seattle, Spokane. I got a reminder message this week to learn how to say Spokane. Okay, so the USM Seattle Spokane has their open meeting 7 p.m. on Sundays at Urban Work Lofts in Seattle, or you can attend remotely via Zoom. And you can email uhurucall@gmail.com for more information. Mondays at 6:30 is the USM open meeting at the Boston Public Library at Copley Square in the Newsfeed Cafe. Mondays, 6 p.m., USM Asheville has their open meeting at Firestorm Books and Coffee, 610 Haywood Road, Asheville, North Carolina. Mondays, 6 p.m., USM St. Louis has their open meeting at the Lemp Neighborhood Arts Center. Monday, 6 p.m., USM St. Pete has their open meeting at the Panera Bread in 1908 4th Street North in St. Petersburg. Mondays at 7, USM Oakland has their open meeting at Cafe Strata, 2300 College Avenue in Berkeley. Thursdays, 7 p.m., USM Philly has their open meeting at Good Karma Cafe, 928 Pine Street, Philadelphia. And Fridays at 11 a.m., is the National Committee to Build the 2019 USM Convention. If you want to be a part of that, email info@uhurusolidarity.org. And Friday, March 1st at 7 p.m. is the next USM New York City open meeting at the Solidarity Center at TBG 616 East 9th Street. The Art for Reparations Fall 2019 benefit auction has submissions now. Go to artforreparations.org to learn more about that. And every Friday, I want to make this announcement, every Friday on Facebook and on YouTube, both of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement Facebook and the Uhuru Solidarity Movement YouTube, you can catch a live stream of the Reparations in Action weekly current events radio show on Black Power 96 in St. Pete. That is with host Jamie Simpson of Uhuru Solidarity Movement, and it features African People's Solidarity Committee Chairwoman Penny Hess and USM Chair Jesse Neville discussing current events and giving African internationalist analysis. So that's all the amazing things that we have going on in the next couple of months. Please get all of your travel information ducks in a row to attend the 2019 convention. I'm going to return $10 in stolen resources to this study today as a pledge of reparations. Uhuru, Evan Garner, salute this powerful study, and comrade, I can pledge $10 in stolen resources on Monday. That is $20 of our $75 goal. We have $55 to go. Let's see what other comments. Olafin Akemba, that's our managing editor of The Burning Spear. Salute, comrade. Olafin and I were in Hawaii together. I actually sold The Burning Spear to Olafin in the Ala Moana parking lot, which is like a big mall in Honolulu. That was the first time I met Comrade Olafin. So salute Comrade Olafin, salute to Comrade Valley for these weekly studies, only under the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party, only with the burning spirit are these studies possible. Let's see what else. So we have $55 left for our goal today. And I have 6 viewers. If everyone could put in $10 to the study, we would make our goal. Uhuru, Janice, Brian, Uhuru, Janice. Thank you for coming and joining me on the study today. As you can see, the Uhuru Movement is undoubtedly the leading organization fighting for African liberation and the liberation of the colonized masses of the world in total, unconditional solidarity with the right of colonized people around the world to lead their own struggle for liberation. So $55. So a pledge of resources. Like, what does that mean? Like material for most of us, like $55. A pair of jeans probably going to cost you more than $55 today. And so what does it really mean, like whether or not we make this goal or not? So this is not a charity stance. Like when we do when I do the Solidarity Spear Study live every week, when I prepare the Solidarity Spear Study live every week, yes, we want to be advancing, this anti-colonial, anti-imperialist perspective. Sure, we want to be advancing the revolutionary demand for reparations every week, but it's not a charity stance. We are accountable to the party for raising these resources. So it's not like I decide, okay, I'm not going to do the Spear Study this week. That's not the program at all. That's not how this works. It is my honor to have this opportunity to return these resources every week. And so it is my honor to support the Solidarity Spear Study live and to advance African internationalism into the white community and to read and sell the Burning Spear newspaper. What you want to do is sell the Burning Spear newspaper. You want to subscribe to the Burning Spear newspaper. Go to burningspearmarketplace.com. Get your subscription. If you are organizing with Uhuru Solidarity Movement, you definitely want to have a subscription to the Burning Spear newspaper. Uhuru, I can return $10 on Thursday. That's Comrade Diane Tournay in Gainesville, Florida. Uhuru, salute Comrade Diane. Johan and Diane pledged $10 each. So that's another $10. We are at $40 of our $75 goal, and we have 11 minutes left of the study. So I just want to explain a little bit more about Black Star Industries and a little bit about the Black Power Blueprint, which is in phase 3.1 right now. So Black Star Industries is like it brings all of the economic development institutions, all the commercial work of the African People's Socialist Party is brought under this one umbrella of Black Star Industries. So it provides, opportunities because it is an LLC for community partnership. And it's there's just no way to have real economic development without taking advantage of all the different ways to organize. And this is the commercial end. This is the commercial umbrella LLC that organizes all of this work. And so Black Star Industries underwrites a lot of the nonprofit work. And through these two facets of the economic work, it creates the independent economy that is serving the missions to bring organization, Black power, and economic self-determination to the African working class community. And so this is like the vision, this is the legacy of Marcus Garvey and the Black Star shipping line, which was created almost 100 years ago. The Black Star shipping line was created, I think we're coming up on the centennial of what Marcus Garvey was trying to do, which is create an independent African economy. So Black Star Industries takes its name from the Black Star shipping line. And this is the legacy. This is the 40 plus years of struggle of Chairman Omali Yeshitela and the African People's Socialist Party to build economic development and economic self-reliance so that African people can feed, clothe, and house themselves. The African People's Socialist Party is preparing to govern in every single facet of what that could possibly mean. So the Black Power Blueprint is this nonprofit initiative in St. Louis to create these spaces. The One Africa, One Nation Marketplace in 2019, the Uhuru Jiko Community Commercial Kitchen in 2019, and the African Independence Workforce Training Program in 2019. Because as anyone who's been in St. Louis could tell you, there is massive, massive, massive poverty. There are two St. Louises separated by what's known as the Delmar Divide. And the mission of the Black Power Blueprint is to overturn the poverty and oppression faced by the African community there in St. Louis's North Side. All right, Uhuru. Subscribe and sell the Burning Spear newspaper, burningspearmarketplace.com. Thank you, Comrade Johan. Let's see, what other comments do I have? 7 minutes left on the study today and $35 left for our goal. I want to again salute Diane Tournier, Johan Bedingfield, and Evan Garner for taking a stance of reparations and returning resources to this political education study today, made possible by the inimitable Burning Spear newspaper, 50 uninterrupted years of publication of Black Power revolutionary analysis from the African working class. It doesn't get more historic. It doesn't get more profound. It doesn't get better than that, folks. There is no organization that can say the same of itself like the African People's Socialist Party can. Uhuru, yes, we have $35 more to go. Thank you. So when we talk about how this can be part of an anti-colonial and anti-imperial strategy, like what, these resources raised in this political education live stream today, it seems like almost nothing. But in the hands of the African working class, there is not a single penny that goes wasted. There's not a single cent that goes misappropriated or funding something else. There are hundreds of volunteers that participate in the organizations of the Uhuru Movement, hundreds of volunteers. And from that intense and incredible and powerful volunteer basis, so much work is accomplished and so many white people return their time and skills and labor to the African Revolution as a stance of reparations. So that is also a unique and defining feature of the projects of the Uhuru Movement. Uhuru! Comrade Jeanette Bish Cruz. Oh, my comrade who's been suffering from migraines recently. I hope you're feeling better. I hope you're feeling so much better. They are the pits. $10 given back. $10 returned to the programs for liberation, for economic self-reliance, and Black Power of the Uhuru Movement. $10. We have $25 left on the study to go. We have raised $50. Uhuru comrades, I want to salute everyone who's participated in this study today and just say, this is the world we want to be a part of. And every single week when I do this study, we raise a small amount. But it's not a small amount because what this study represents and what this work and what you people who come here, you white people who come in here every single week and share this study and return resources to the study, what this represents is the building of a new world. We are a part of this liberated future, and it's happening right now. And there is no more positive vision for a future other than that of the Uhuru Movement. And I am just so honored to be a part of this work and to be a part of this study every single week, as much as I possibly can, because that's how important and how urgent it is that while everything else is falling apart, The Uhuru Movement is creating something beautiful and new and liberated territory within the colony. And that's what you can be a part of. And that's what you can be a part of right now. And that's right now. And why I keep saying right now is because it needs to happen right now. The planet is running out of time. And it's not something that I'm saying, like, oh, I read it, I read it on some apocalypse perspective blog or something like that. I was born in 1980. They've been talking about 2050 since I was a little girl. They're talking about 2050 as being a peak resource crisis for the planet since I was a child. This is not news. Just because the UN is uniting what scientists have been saying for years does not make it news. Scientists have been saying it for years, that the ecosystem of the ocean is going to collapse. In this generation, the ecosystem of the ocean is going to collapse. And so how do we take a stand against that? We have to be willing to fight capitalism with its own weapon, with resources, divest from white power, divest from the white nationalist economy, divest from parasitic capitalism by returning the resources to the African liberation movement. And that is what this stance of reparations is all about. It's about saying, colonized people are going to be free. African people are going to be free. They're going to lead themselves to their own victory over parasitic capitalism, colonialism. U.S. imperialism, already in crisis, will surely fail in our lifetime. So do we want to see liberation in Chairman Omali Yeshitela's lifetime? Hell yeah, we do. And that is why we have urgently united with the demand for reparations to African people and to be a part of this work, which includes this awesome opportunity for this political live stream study that I get to do every week. So when I first started doing this, I was absolutely mortified to hear my redneck accent and to see like my pale, pasty face on the Facebook live stream every week. But now it is an absolute joy to be here with my comrades, uniting with the revolutionary demand for Black power and the end of this parasitic, fucked up genocidal system every single week. It's absolutely amazing. So I just want to salute all my comrades again who make this possible and help me and just constantly remind me of why this is so important and why it's so important to be communicating African internationalism all over Facebook, no matter where we can be. We need to be talking about the burning spear. We need to be selling the burning spear. We need to let people know that they can jump ship. You can jump off this ship of fools and join the winning side. Join the human family. And that is what this means to me. And that is what we are a part of as part of the Solidarity Spear Study work. And all of the participants who come join me for the Solidarity Spear Study every week, you are so, so appreciated. So I want to salute everyone. I want to thank you again for another awesome Solidarity Spear Study live. I want to salute my moderator, Johan Bedingfield. We are a little short on our reparations goal for today's study, but we return our reparations goal every month to the party, just as planned. We do not skip a beat, and I will struggle to bring the study every Saturday to Facebook Live and upcoming YouTube. Coming soon. I just have to learn how to do it. Coming soon, but thank you again, and Uhuru, and I hope to see you at the All Diamonds or Blood Diamonds tour at the Solidarity Center, 616 East 9th Street in New York City tomorrow night. Come at 6 p.m. for the ribbon cutting for the Solidarity Center. This is really exciting. Reparations is a weapon against the white ruling class and U.S. and European imperialism, says Johan Bedingfield. Uhuru, that is 100% correct. It is. Each of the dollars of reparations is a bullet in imperialism's chest. It is putting imperialism and parasitic capitalism on notice. It is putting white power on notice that we as white people are not going to be complicit in this world of genocide anymore. And there will be no more genocide, no more police brutality, no more prison industrial complex, no more imperialist intervention and sovereign governments abroad in our name. That is what we say when we join the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. That's the stance that we're taking. If you unite with that, go to uhurusolidarity.org, join today, make your pledge of reparations to African people, join the reparations challenge. Check out the mass meeting tomorrow. It's 7:02. I'm going to get going. Uhuru, thank you.